Today we will learn on how to add an asset as a data source. In simple terms, data sources are the assets from which we collect data. Before we start adding our assets, it's important to ensure that we have already created our factory structure. This structure will define the locations where our assets will be placed. By setting up the structure beforehand, we can save time when adding new assets to our OptiFact portal. Let's start by adding an ABB robot to our factory structure. Click on Add Asset, and fill in the required fields, such as name and ID. Select the asset type as a robot, and click on Next to continue. Keep the controller type as Robot Controller. In the host field, enter the IP address associated with the port of the robot CPU that is connected to OptiFact. If the controller uses the default user configuration with standard roles, we can leave it as it is. Click on Next to proceed. Select the appropriate location within our factory structure where the robot should be placed. We can also select any existing tags that are relevant to this asset, or create new ones if needed. Once it's done, click on Next. Check the summary and confirm that all the configuration details are correct. If the robot is connected successfully, we will see a green light indication next to the asset ID. If the light indication is red, please double-check the connectivity and communication setup between OptiFact and the asset. Remember, connectivity in your factory between OptiFact and your assets is crucial to gather data effectively. That's it. We have successfully added an asset, specifically an ABB robot, as a data source in OptiFact. For other asset types supporting OPC UA or MQTT protocol, the steps are similar. After clicking on Add Asset, fill in the fields such as name and ID. Under Type, select OPC UA. Click on Next. Enter the hostname or the IP address. Enter the user and password if applicable. Select the right option for security policy and message security mode. Enter the port number. Enter the path if you want to access a predetermined path or node. Click on Next to continue, and the following steps are very similar to what you have seen. Our asset, supporting OPC UA protocol, has now been successfully created as a data source in OptiFact. To add an asset supporting MQTT protocol, click on Add Asset. Fill in the name and ID, and under Type select the MQTT option. Click on Next to proceed. Enter the hostname or the IP address. Enter the port number. Enter any user credentials if applicable. Click on Next. Since we are adding the asset as a data source, we are going to add a source topic. Fill in the topic name and click on Add. Repeat this operation with more topics as required. Click on Next to proceed. Our asset, supporting MQTT protocol, has now been successfully created as a data source in OptiFact. If we wish to edit or delete an existing asset, we can click on the three dots and continue by clicking on the necessary option. To sum it up, we have seen in the video on how to add an asset as a data source in OptiFact. By following these steps, you can now efficiently manage your factory assets. Thank you for your time.